àfi ṣóńṣó abẹ adífá fún èṣù ọ̀daràǹgbà tí ń bẹ láàrin èdìdì tí ń bẹ láàrin ọ̀tá ọmọ aráyé ẹbọ wọn ni ó wá ṣe ó sì gbẹ́bọ níbẹ̀ ní bá ń túbọ̀ pé àfi ṣóńṣó abẹ ọ̀dàrà olórí agbẹ́rùlé àfi ṣóńṣó abẹ pẹ́ tó lanu orin awo ló bọ́ sí i lẹ́nu òkè jàsà orin kìíní ń kọ pé aṣóńṣó abẹ ọ̀dàrà olórí agbẹ́rùlé o aṣóńṣó abẹ èṣù ọ̀dàrà olórí agbẹ́rùlé o aṣóńṣó abẹ láàlú olórí agbẹ́rùlé o aṣóńṣó abẹ. So the significance of that song, it says aṣóńṣó abẹ, Eshu does not have a head to put on contentions, troubles, implications, and all of that. And if you look at it today, Eshu is one of the most accused being, one of the most accused divinities that we have in the whole world. Yeah, so Eshu is one of the most accused. But Ifa had already said it, that a lot of people will accuse you, but offer Ebo so that you will not have the head to carry it. So if you like, accuse Eshu till today and tomorrow. Eshu is still going to be just and do whatever he's supposed to do. My name is Owomide Ifagbenusola Popoola. I'm a traditionalist, a proud one to the core. I am also an historian. I studied history and diplomatic studies. Also, sometimes I'm also a counseling psychologist. I have my master's degree in counseling psychology. And I'm also a musician. I sing, an archive keeper. Yeah, so I have like 2 albums out, and they are all Orisha songs. The title is Songs of the Orisha 1 and 2, because they are all Orisha songs to promote the Orisha and to also keep the songs from going into extinct. And also I'm an author. I have some books that I have written in my name. And yeah, so that's basically who I am. So in the Yoruba cosmology, Eshu, in a nutshell, should be regarded as the karmatic force of the universe. So Eshu stands as the karma of the universe, like the police of the universe. And one thing about Eshu is that Eshu does not care if you like him or you hate him. Eshu is still going to do what Eshu is going to do, which is to stand for justice. Whenever you want to do anything now, the first thing, when you want to do something, there is a thought in your head that will come to you. What you are about to do now is not good. But you have your choice. You can go on and do it. If you do it, this is the punishment. This is the result for it if you are caught. Even if you are not caught, there is still going to be a punishment that you might not see now. And we chose in our mind, I'm not going to be caught. I'll be smart about it. And we'll go ahead and we'll do it. And after doing it, we feel like, I'm done. I have everything is done. No problem. Nobody caught me. I'm free. And after a while, maybe your karma now came and caught up with you, because Eshu never forgets. He is the record keeper. Good, bad, and everything. He is the record keeper, and he will keep everything. And when it is time for you to reap what you've sown, he will definitely make sure you got it in a very large fold. And that is where people will now, when some people do something bad and they are caught, you may call the concept of devil and Satan. I do not believe in it, because the way we in other religion, I'm not here to bash any religion, or we're just speaking facts now. So the way we portray God in other religion, we portray God as some lower force, and at the same time we will still keep on saying he's the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. How can an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, everything create a being that he cannot control? Because according to the biblical record, he created Satan. He could not control him. Satan went rogue. And for that reason, he gave Satan his own kingdom and said, okay, you have your kingdom. Start having your own people. When people do bad, they will come to you. When they do good, they are coming to me. Eshu is never like that. Eshu never for once went against the will of Olodumare. Olodumare has the autonomy the total power over every divinities, Orunmila, Ogun, Shango, Eshu. And Eshu is one of the most closest allies to Olodumare, because Eshu sometimes also stand as the intermediary between Olodumare and other divinities. So that is how important and how big his responsibilities. So Eshu is who in Yoruba cosmology is who we call Olaalu. Olaalu means the wealth of the community. Laalu Ogiri Oko. So Ola is wealth, Ilu is the community. So the role of Eshu in servicing other Orisha, I will not say service, I will say collaborate with them, is number one. Do you know that even all these Orishas, they are not 100% perfect? That is what makes our own belief different. There are some times that they told Orunmila in Ifa to offer Ebo, and Orunmila did not offer Ebo, and he saw the repercussion. So when we say, oh, offer Ebo and go and give Eshu, many people believe, oh, it's Eshu that is always taking all the Ebo, it's Eshu that we are giving everything to, but that is not true. Eshu has the power to communicate with what we call Ajoguns. What is Ajogun? Ajogun are the negative forces of the universe. They are Iku, death, Arun, sickness, Ejo, contention, Ofo, loss, Egba, and every other negative forces that we have. So Eshu can communicate with them better. So when an Ajogun is about to happen, Eshu can go and meet Orunmila. Orunmila, something is about to happen. And this Ajogun is coming. And what does this Ajogun want? This Ajogun wants one rooster, one hen, one guinea fowl, etu. If you can do all of this as Ebo, give it to me, I will give it to the Ajogun. So Eshu is the intermediary. And he will give the Ajogun what the Ajogun wants, talk to them, he has offered Ebo, so leave him. And people believe, oh, you have to offer Ebo for Eshu all the time. It is not Eshu that is taking all the Ebo. Eshu is giving the Ebo to the right energies that needs it at that particular time. There is also a verse in Osalugbe again, where Orunmila, there is Agbe, Aluko, Odidere. They've been offering Ebo. They've been doing Ishe Efa, they are Babalawos, doing Ishe Efa for Olokun, Olosa, and Oshun Ewuji for a very long time, and they are still the same. It was Eshu who went to meet these people. Why are you all wicked? These people have been doing Ishe Efa for you for a very long time, and you did not bless them. Now you need to bless them. And those Olokun said, okay, please, this is a very big cloth. This cloth is the magical one. When Agbe wear this cloth, the cloth is going to change his life, and he will become a very prosperous being among the birds. Eshu collected it. Now, what I'm trying to point out is, as Eshu can talk to the negative forces, he can also talk to the positive ones to bless us. So the life we are living, the world we live in, is a world of energy, both the good and the bad, the ugly and the beautiful, the up and the down. And Eshu is like the intermediary who understand both the good and the bad and interpret them. He has the power to stop the negative from attacking. And he also has the power to release them to do whatever they want to do and be looking. He has the power to send blessing our way. He also has the power to block it. So Eshu is just an intermediary, and that is the role he plays even among every other Orisha. This misconception about Eshu being Satan started after the abolition of slave trade in Africa, when they abolished the idea of slavery and all of that. And we need to understand something, that before, there is nothing like, Eshu ma ṣe mí o, ọmọ ẹlòmíì ni ó ṣe o, iṣẹ́ Eshu ni o. No, people never used to use that phrase in Yoruba land. So it was after they abolished the slave trade. And I am not saying this to attack anybody or to undermine the work of Bishop Ajayi Crowther. But no one is perfect. So he wasn't. When they abolished slave trade, Ajayi Crowther was already a slave. He was a freed slave in Liberia or Sierra Leone, the Freetown. When they abolished, they took them to the Freetown, where he joined the missionary schools over there, became a bishop and all of that. He now came back to Yoruba land with Henry Townsend and one other person. I've forgotten the name of that guy. When I remember. So they came back on the mission of translating the Bible from English to Yoruba and also to propagate Christianity more to the people. So when they came, the missionaries, they go about their own way. He is about, translating the Bible, looking for words and all of that from English to Yoruba. So when they started their missionary work, those guys went to meet people and they started telling them, why are you people feeding Orisha? The world is changing. You need to embrace Christianity. But a lot of people have their bad minds about Christianity because this foreign religion, this is what you used to enslave us back then. And you are back again saying Jesus said forgive and forget and this and that. So how do we believe you? And they said, well, Jesus is a living God. All this God that you are feeding, they have eyes, they cannot see. They have mouths, they cannot talk. This and that. And they told them, the people told them, you made a mistake. Our own Osonyi is an Orisha. And he can talk. And they took them to where they are feeding Osonyi. And Osonyi was talking. A cabo, this and that. And okay. But they have eyes, they have mouths, they have legs, they cannot walk. And they said, well, our own ancestral worship, Egungun, when we put on the regalia, the person inside is not human anymore. He is a representative of our ancestors. So he can talk, he can walk, he can move around. So all of those proved abortive. They could not do anything. But during the process, when they were moving from one place to another, going from one, priestess to priest, and when they got to Oloshun, they would tell them, how is your Oshun, this and that? They will now see a very small pot where they have like a stone inside. What is this? This is our Eshu Oshun. But Eshu is also a divinity on its own. And but our Oshun has our own Eshu. Okay. They went to meet Babalawos. What is this beside your Ifa? They said, this is our Eshu Ifa. Like, Eshu again? Okay. They went to meet Ogun worshippers. They saw another one, Eshu Ogun. They went to meet Shango people, Eshu Shango. They went to the market. They saw Eshu Oja. What is the Eshu Oja? They went to someone who is not even believing in any Orisha, and they saw something in his house again. What is this Eshu Ishole? The Eshu to watch over my house. They went to another person. Who is what is the Eshu Alaje? This Eshu is bringing wealth for me. And I'm like, okay. It seems in every of their divinities of their belief, Eshu is always present there. And if you want these people to believe whatever we are saying to them, this is the first thing we need to attack. This is the first thing we need to demonize. And that was how they look at the most rejected entity in their Bible, which is Satan and devil. That was how. Because if that was not a deliberate action, Orunmila does not get any name in the Bible. Shango have no name because God of Thunder is not a name. It's just like a phrase to explain something. God of Thunder, God of the Wind, God of Iron, Ogun, they don't have a name in the Bible. And when they now translated the Bible, John become Johan, Joseph become Joseph, Samuel become Samuel, Eve become Eva, Adam become Adamu, Eshu become Satan. So where is the correlation? Because those names, we don't have them in Yoruba land. So they just had to make sure, because Yoruba land, every name always end with vowel. Malu, Adigun. So those ones who end with consonant is just to support. So we don't have a name like That doesn't, and it has to end with something like, so that is why Samuel becomes Samuel with a vowel. Adam become Adamu with a U at the back. So how does now Eshu now become Satan? So we felt it was a deliberate action, because when we look at the attributes of Satan in the Bible, and we look at the attributes of Eshu in our own Yoruba cosmology, they are not the same. They are like opposites. Satan went against the will of God. Eshu will never think of it to went against the will of Olodumare, because Olodumare is the supreme being who send them message. And there is an oriki in Yoruba where people say, oh, now we have an oriki that says Eshu lalu ogiri oko. Do you know the meaning of ogiri oko? Ogiri oko, there is a story in Oworin-Shogbe where there was famine in the land. That is how Eshu became Olailu. That ogiri oko, I want to explain it to you. So there was a story in Oworin-Shogbe. There was famine in the land. All the leaders now, they hoard all the food that the people can eat and everything. They hoard it at home. So a woman was pregnant. Eshu now saw how the whole community is going, that people will die, and these leaders are greedy. He now entered the woman in the womb. So when the woman gave birth, there was no water, there was nothing to even wash the baby. It was the day they gave birth to that child that the child stood up and was running. So when the child ran somewhere, picked up a lot of stone. He now went to the leader's house, threw stone into their house. Immediately he threw the stone, there was trouble, there was death, there was a lot of problems in that household. They started running out with all the goods and everything that belongs to the people that they've kept to themselves. People now started saying it, oh, so this is where you kept all our food and everything. Started bringing it out. And Eshu went like that to all of the leaders' house. And that is how that is what people say, Eshu lalu ogiri oko, okiri oko. Okiri oko means he was naked. A child. He was still a child, a day baby. So ogiri oko, okiri oko, Olailu, because he was the wealth of the community. He saved the people at that time. There was now another oriki that says Elekun sunkun laaroye nsun eje. People, you see, I think as smart as we are in this world now, we were not as smart as our forefathers, and it is really sad, because I think everything should be improving for good, but it seems we are just so Elekun sunkun laaroye nsun eje, it is a figurative use of speech. Because when Elekun sunkun laaroye nsun eje, you are crying, and Eshu lalu is shedding blood on your behalf. He felt so sad about what is wrong with you. He was compassionate. He was sympathizing with you. So it doesn't mean he was actually crying blood. He felt compassionate about what you were going through. So Elekun sunkun laaroye nsun eje. It's just like when they are doing oriki for people. In Yoruba land, every oriki is exaggerated. Bàbá mi ọ̀rọ̀ gọ̀jígọ̀ kò rẹ́nìkan jà ó fògiri mọ́ra. Who can draw the wall close and start them? No, but they are trying to express how big that person is. So Yoruba language is very, very expressive. So all these oriki that people will say, no, you just need to be wise to understand. The misconception about Eshu being Satan has really affected us, because there is nothing that we will do in Ifa, in Isheshe, that doesn't involve Eshu. There is nothing. Ebo, Ikpese, everything. Before we talk about Ifa to some extent, we'll talk about Eshu, because every Ebo that we do is going to Eshu. So Eshu is like an important part of Isheshe. So Eshu now being demonized has given a lot of people the idea of, if you are an Onisheshe, you are devilish. You are a devilish person. You are bad. Or everything that you do, you use evil So this misconception has really affected a lot. But all thanks to Olodumare, there has been correction. We've started correcting a lot of things. In the Isheshe community, we started a movement about 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, which is Eshu is not Satan. We started the movement 10 years ago in Nigeria, and now today it is being celebrated like a carnival, like Eshu Day, every December 24, all over the world. Last year we recorded over 60 countries that also joined in the walk. So there is a new wave going around now. We are now changing the narrative, making people to understand. We have a lot of people who are now naming their children Eshu name, Eshu Deji, Eshu Bayi, Eshu Fumi. So to make them understand that we are Eshu, we believe in Eshu, but we are not devilish. Evil lives in every man. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or whatever you have an attribute of evil in you. It is now left to you to tame it, to not allow it to take over you, or to be carefree and allow it to consume you. One of the ways that we can reclaim, the identity of Eshu and to correct the wrong notion that they have about Eshu is, number one is through campaign, which we started 10 years ago in the Isheshe community, and every Onisheshe in Nigeria is doing it and all over the world, and we are doing that. And secondly, we also have a conference that is coming up soon from Isheshe Welfare Association. They are planning to have a conference with the major stakeholders in Nollywood, to educate them about Isheshe and most importantly about Eshu. So media is also one of the ways, like the Nollywood always portraying Eshu as this with on and all of that, which is not. We don't have any Orisha in Yoruba land that has on. We don't. So we are trying to change the image, and also there are people who are now, having the image of Eshu. What I have here is like an image of Eshu on my chest here. So we now have people who are also trying to, have a franchise of clothes that represent Eshu. When people see you wear it, they will ask, "Why are you wearing Eshu?" And you tell, "Oh, Eshu is this." And also, we Onisheshe also need to represent in the right way. We also need to represent in the right way that Eshu really is. So, and we should not be tired of educating people about who Eshu is. It didn't happen in a day, and it is not going to be corrected in a day. It is a long journey, and we've started already, and we won't stop. According to many Ifa verses, Ifa describe Eshu as a man who is well built. He is well built. It's not some stomach or some haggard. No, that is not even true. He's well built, and he has a long hair, which we call the ashonsho. So the hair at the back like this, which also makes him fashionista. Eshu doesn't have hair at the front. It doesn't have hair at the front. So if the hair is at the back like this, so that hair is so long that he now attached Egbeje. So he has Ado, what the Ado god. He has them all, he adorned them with his hair all over. That is how Ifa described him. And he is also someone who likes to dress. When you go to Ijelu, when we went to Ijelu, because Ijelu is believed to be the home of Eshu. So we went there, and they told us, Eshu is a very huge man who loves to wear white clothes and tie it at one hand like this, pakaja of the clothes. So I am going to describe Eshu as a very, good-looking guy. In my imagination, I have never seen him as even Ifa Orunmila, who is the messenger, with the one who understand and decode the messages of Ifa. Ifa described Orunmila as Baba Dudu bi Koro Oshin. Have you seen Koro Oshin before? Palm kernel, as black and shining as it is. That shows you he is a black guy like me, like this, shining and good looking. So all these expressions are there in Ifa for us to imagine all of these Orisha. One of the way we can appease Eshu is through Ebo. When you want to receive the blessing and all of that of Eshu, you can appease Eshu through Ebo. You can appease Eshu by singing for Eshu. You can appease Eshu by chanting the Oriki of Eshu. You can appease Eshu by giving offering to Eshu. And what are the things that you can use to give offering to Eshu? Obi, Orogbo, Oti, Epo, rooster, he-goat, Enla, which is now cow. Enla is the one that Yoruba land see as cow. Enla, food, and different things like that you can use to appease Eshu. One of the things that the people of the do's and don'ts of Eshu worshippers and priests and priestess is not even for them alone, it's for everybody. It's before you do something, think about the aftermath. So for every action, there is a reaction. In Yoruba belief, in our Ifa Isheshe belief, we don't believe that everything we do, we are influenced by some powers. Olodumare gave us the free will. That is our own belief. We have the free will to make our choice. No, we have what we call destiny. That one is different. Destiny, we know. We have some destinies. But once we get to earth, there are some things. Not everything is being influenced by a supernatural power. We have the free will to make our choice, to either do this and not do it. So Eshu, one of the things about Eshu is, before you do it, think about the aftermath. Because when you do it, I will be here to pay you. So that Eshu is just like, I don't care if you like me or you hate me. I'm in the middle. Oh, this thing that you want to do, this is the result. And this is the aftermath. Do you still want to go on and do it? If you want to do it, it will not stop you from doing it. Go on and do it, and you will see the result. So for Eshu people, those who believe in Eshu, and even if you don't believe, it doesn't matter. It is the law of the life. So before you do it, think of the aftermath. And one of the biggest taboo of Eshu is Ade. So don't feed Eshu with Ade. So the only message that I would love to give to people who are still confused about the baby Eshu is Satan or not is, one thing I will tell you to do is to be open-minded. When you are not open-minded, nothing that anybody will say will enter. You will not even want to understand, because you already have a belief that you believe is superior to any other belief. So if you are not open-minded, it is not going to work. So you need to be open-minded, be critical, ask critical questions. When I wanted many years back, I think in year 2001 or 2002, I went to Ilorin. I was in Ilorin for 3 years, and I studied Islamic religion for 3 years. And this is not because I wanted to become a Muslim. It's because I want to understand. So you cannot talk about something you don't know. So one thing I will say is, you need to study who is Eshu. Ask from those who know about Eshu. When you now study and you ask questions and they tell you who Eshu is, you will now sit down and look at it, and you know about Satan. Now, know about Eshu. Compare and contrast. And you will realize that they are both working in different directions. Their direction is not the same. They are working in different directions entirely. So that is what I'm going to say. Be open-minded. That is my message and my, advice to everybody who is still confused about if Eshu is Satan or not. The reason the Eshu lives outside most of the time is because Eshu is big. One, and Eshu is overseeing everything. How can you oversee what's going outside from inside? So Ojo Etole, Otoko, so he has to be outside. From outside, he can see what's going on inside, see what's going on outside, and see what's going on around. So we have Eshu, we have different manifestations of Eshu. We have Eshu Ija, Eshu to fight. We have Eshu Ishole, Eshu to watch over the house. We have Eshu Alaje, Eshu of wealth. We have Eshu Oja, Eshu of the market. We still have that in Yoruba land till today. Different places, there are Eshu there, but they won't tell you. Oju Elegbara, Eshu is still there. The Eshu is still there till today. Oju elegbara is what we call oju elegba. So it should manifest in different ways. So it has to be outside. One, because of all the ebo that you will be given to it. And also two, to watch over the whole house and the whole community. Eshu is one important divinity in Isheshe. And that has been bastardized, has been misinterpreted for a very long time. And how did they do it? I was telling a story the other time, I didn't finish it. When they went to meet the people and they demonized Eshu and all of that, the people still did not believe them. They now started missionary schools. Where they now said, okay, we understand your religion is your religion. You can hold on to it. But let your children come to these missionary schools. Let them learn how to read, how to write, and all of that. And from there, they will be educated. They will be able to travel abroad and all of that. So our elders didn't know, out of, not knowing. They send their children to school. When those kids are in school, as they are teaching them A for apple, they will also teach them the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. Whenever they want to eat, they will teach them the food. Bless this food, oh Lord, for Christ's sake, blah, blah, blah. And from there, those things started getting into the head of the children. Forgetting that those little children of them, they didn't get enough education at home again, because in Yoruba setting, education, the major education is from home. They started getting the education from outsiders, from schools. So everything that they teach them in school is what they will go home. They will still give them extra lesson, extra homework, extra this. And they will study that. So the school became the major point of learning for the children. They teach them about Jesus Christ. Jesus is Lord. Eshu is Satan. Don't follow the devil. So as the elders grow old and die, the children grow up to become those who are there now. And that is how it started. So our own mission is to also use that format. To let our youth to understand, this is what Eshu is. We've known this for a very long time, but now we know the truth, and this is the fact. This is what Eshu is. This is what we need to understand. And from there, that is one of. So I didn't choose to be a convener of Eshu is not Satan. It just happened because the truth needs to be out, and that is what we are trying to do. Eshu láàlú ògiri oko. Báni wọ́n ràn bá orí dá ẹbọra tí jẹ́ látọ̀pa. Òbẹ́lẹ́kún sunkún kẹ́rù òbẹ́lẹ́kún ẹlẹ́kún sunkún láàróyè ń sẹ̀jẹ̀. Òbónímí sumí kẹ́rù òbónímí onímí sumí láàróyè ń ṣù fún. Alangajiga Eshu ó gbé wa o elégbèjà àdó. Alangajiga Eshu ó gbé wa o elégbèjà àdó. Alangajiga bá orígun a ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹbọ. Alangajiga bá òrákàlà a ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣòro. Alangajiga Eshu ó gbé wa o elégbèjà àdó. Alangajiga láàróyè àgọ́ngọ́lọ́tọ́. Láàróyè àgọ́ngọ́lọ́ onílé oríta àgọ́ngọ́lọ́tọ́. Láàróyè àgọ́ngọ́lọ́tọ́. Láàróyè àgọ́ngọ́lọ́tọ́. So Alangajiga Eshu ó gbé wa o elégbèjà àdó. I told you about the àdó. So Eshu ó gbé wa means Eshu is going to bless us, because Eshu is known for blessing people. So if Eshu is bad, people will not be asking for Eshu gbe mi. No. So Eshu ó gbé wa elégbèjà àdó. Bá òrígun a ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹbọ. So Eshu is very important when it comes to ẹbọ, offering ẹbọ. That is why the Ọpọ́n Ifá that we use to do divination, the Ifá tree, the head that you see at the front of the Ọpọ́n Ifá that many people do is Eshu. That is the representation of Eshu on the Ọpọ́n Ifá. So that is how close Eshu and Ifá and every other divinities are, because they work together. So Eshu is overseeing everything that is being done.